slowly dying? Do you think you're 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 slowly dying?
I do have long hair, I just wear a hat most of the time. Hypocrisy at its finest. After years of complaining about sexy female characters, Western video game industry publicly thirsts over the cast of Hades 2. Man, and Spencer's not kidding with that headline. It is pretty gross out there. Take a look at Lex Luddy from Start Menu. This is the editor-in-chief, by the way, saying this. It is very funny that there are chuds out there being like, the woke gaming journalists hate sexy women. Meanwhile, my entire timeline is hooting and hollering about these two Hades character portraits. Or these Hades 2 character portraits. Pardon me, I got my list mixed up. But again, I mean, you're going to notice some things immediately out of the gate about these characters, but no, it gets weirder, believe me. We've got PC Gamer contributor Dominic Terrason saying Gamergaters are saying wokies are stealing all the sexy from video games. And then Hades 2 is replying saying, yes, our game is the most inclusive, progressive take on Greek myth ever written, and also the maximum hornt you can possibly get while still somehow squeaking in with a T rating. Well, you know, hornt, by the way, is a Tumblrism for horny, because misspelling things is charming, I guess, is what it is. I'll remind you, this is a no horny zone, and you will be bonked. You will be bonked. Meanwhile, we've got Games Radar staff writer Jasmine Gould Wilson saying, low camera angles say it all. Aphrodite is shown from a low angle. She has agency. She is a powerful and intimidating figure. Eve from Starblade blankly stares at you head on when you're not sitting right behind her spandex-covered butt, observing her from above because you have power over her. Okay, so over-the-shoulder gameplay apparently means you're domineering to a fictional character that otherwise has no agency unless you command it, right? With your joysticks or your ASWD or your arrow keys, however you do it, right? Maybe you're a VR guy. I don't know. You can VR those butt cheeks, I guess, right? But, and also, can I ask you, who doesn't want to stare at a woman's backside for 72 hours? I mean, you're not going to get in trouble with Eve. You can go up and down all the ladders you like with her, right? I mean, it pushes all the right buttons for me. Meanwhile, I've got a lady looking down on me, and I feel like I've done something to be shamed, right? That I should feel bad for interacting with this person. It's strange that these intersectional fourth wave feminists are so excited about this Aphrodite character when they've complained so profusely about Stellar Blade's Eve being hypersexualized. But let's go on. Let's find out more about what these wackadoos have to say about this point-and-click adventure. Kind of looks like League of Legends, but single player, maybe? I'm not sure. So we've got Games Radar and games industry contributor Alicia Haddock saying, how did they make them even hotter? They must be stopped. Then, likewise, we have The Last of Us 2 senior technical gameplay animator, Mabe Rains, exclaiming, they made them hotter! These are real people. These are real people. And by the way, to top the list, our very favorite gaming commentator, gaming journo, gaming goddess, right? Alyssa Mercante. I hope she takes a screenshot of this face and complains about how my face looks. It'll be great, yeah? Everybody will know what I look like. It'd be like Unsolved Mysteries, but I won't have committed a crime. Instead, I will have questioned feminism's back and forth flip-floppity ideas of what is and isn't sexy. So let's find out why they're losing their minds about these characters. Why? Why is Aphrodite their idol with this one? Beyond obvious reasons, right? Let's excuse that she's the goddess of love and just assume the design is what's got their attention. Now you'll notice immediately as we look at Aphrodite that she's naked. That's right, she's a whole handful of not wearing underwear. That's right. Now, what did they tell us just now about a spandex-clad butt? And yet here is a nudie lady. She is nudie and only covered by her long hair, in fact, and a very forgiving camera angle, if you will, if her intent is not to expose her genitalia to everyone and everything out there. Okay, so Aphrodite, and she's apparently at a low angle, so you're looking up at her from this, which is correct, as you can see right here. She is looking down at you from the corner of her eye. She's clearly superior to you. Greek gods were known for this. Don't get them wrong. This is how the Greek gods behaved. They were very abusive. But I just wanted to direct your attention, if it's not already there, that this character's naked. As you saw in the opening montage, they were raging about Tifa's boobs being out. They were raging about these characters being over-sexualized in Mortal Kombat. They were so very unhappy with the boobs coming out of Japan's animes rather. And yet, here they are just fawning over a naked pink lady. And I just want to drag your attention now to the word tribalism. I'm not going to bring it up on screen because I don't know how YouTube feels about that discussion. So we'll just have to hope that the text analyzing algorithm is A-okay with what I'm about to tell you. So brace yourself. There's this thing called tribalism, right? Where my group is better than yours. And it changes a lot of people's opinions about things. Take, for instance, something mundane like Ford and Chevy. You, as a male viewer, probably can relate to this a little bit more than female viewers, but I'm sure there's a few ladies out there that'll get this too. So, for a lot of people, all Chevys are good and all Fords are bad, all Fords are good and all Chevys are bad. And this is uniform, regardless of the vehicle's performance, regardless of whatever it is for a vehicle. It is bad because it is opposite of my preference. You can track this all the way up to politics and all the way up to, religion arguably should be tribalist. Of all the things that humans do, religion really should be one of those things that you're different, you stay over there kind of attitudes. But this is tribalism that you're seeing these games reporters fawning over Aphrodite and stuff like that. Because Hades 2, Hades, the property, is leaning into their political biases. It's leaning into what their socio-political engineering agenda is, so thereby making them comfortable. Now, you may be asking yourself, how do all these people know how to act? Is there some giant whisper network where they're told, okay, you need to fawn over this game, you need to make sure that this guy gets canceled? No. There are little pockets of that in every industry, certainly, little pockets of it. But what this is that it is the way that Saul Alinsky described the way to destroy a target. And so now there's 2 generations of collegial level graduates that have been trained in the idea that when you fall out of what the party, take for instance the DNC if you'd like, or perhaps the CPUSA, if you will. I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't know how Google feels about that. Google running YouTube, of course. But if you think about this on that level, right, if you're considering this kind of tribalism through the corporation lens and all this other jazz, you're going to notice that these people fall in line with what the corporations are telling them, with what the intelligentsia at their colleges where they graduated from are saying. And so when people fall out of that ideology, they become outsiders, they get othered, they become alt of some sort. alt of some sort. And that's why they'll pass judgment on Stellar Blade, despite Eve from Stellar Blade being clothed, even her body skin suity thing, despite meant to look like, I don't know, maybe like a dominatrix outfit, some leather-clad gal's outfit. That is actually a full-body suit. It's flesh-toned, but it's a full-body suit. You can see when you zoom up on it. Don't ask me. I was told by a friend. But anyway, they'll rage about that. They'll rage about Eve's butt cheeks wibbledy-wobbling during sword fights. They'll rage about her boobs wibbledy-wobbly jiggle-wiggling during sword fights, during, climbing ladders and all that jazz, as I mentioned earlier. But this, a fully naked character, just out in the daylight, enjoying the summer breeze, that's perfectly fine. That's admirable. That's sexy. They like that because it falls in line with what they've been told is the approved political approach to doing this. I know, it doesn't make any sense at all. That's why I've paused here to let you just like think about that for just a split second there. That there are people out there that will eat sand. I'm exaggerating. They'll eat sand before water if someone they don't like, says that water is good for them. They'll pile sand down their throat. Right? And inversely, they'll go drink water and tell you it's different from the water you're drinking, and it's better, and your water is bad or toxic, right? Your water is toxic. Yeah. Okay? This is how we've come to this. This is why these people act the way that they do, why they've fawned over this character and exploded over Hephaestus. I'm not kidding you. This is another one that they're very much enamored with. This is an overweight gentleman in a wheelchair, steam-powered wheelchair, and they are quite enamored with him. I'm not. I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe it's the belly thing. Maybe it's the furry belly thing. I'm not sure. But I just want to stress that this is not out of character for them. This feels out of character, right? You and I were like, ha, we got them. They like boobs too. They've always liked boobs. But what they don't like are boobs that are outside of their political preference. Boobs from Japan are outside of their political preference, or rather control, right? And that's why they don't like those boobs. They don't like the 12-foot tall vampire lady boobs, because those boobs represent boobs that are outside of their control, despite, on the surface, rewarding what they tell you their political ideologies are, okay? That's why this whole thing is very exhausting. This is why your brain feels very tired when you see headlines like this. Like, they've spent months berating Stellar Blade, only to turn around and celebrate a big guy in a wheelchair and a naked bubblegum lady. I honestly thought of Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time when I saw this. I was like, okay, that's cheap, neat. But again, this is where the left, or the folks that are the right of Mao, if you will, have found themselves. This is what they'll do. They'll idolize someone who's completely naked over a character like Eve, who, from Stellar Blade, who is not. Arguably, there's more respect for women with Eve than there is with Aphrodite. But because it comes from a political spectrum that these people have been marinated in from birth, they accept what Aphrodite is and reject what Eve is. Now, you can go ahead and think about that on all sorts of symbolistic levels, right? I don't know if that's a word or not. I just made it up. Symbolism is a word, though. So on a symbolism level, think about what I just said. They reject Eve, who has a more respectable presentation of women, and embrace Aphrodite, who has a much more degenerate representation of women. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Maybe I'll have a haircut by then. Who knows? But as always, good luck out there.